Hello everyone, today I would like to give my thoughts and first impressions of the Fungus Mechanicus event. So this event is obviously building upon the previous event that we had, and that was the Fabulous Fungus Frenzy event where you got to battle with your shroom buddies, so these guys here. Now this event is very different from the last one. It doesn't quite work the same way. Now Fungus Mechanicus is a shorter event, however, the other one, the first event that we had, Fabulous Fungus Frenzy, that was a whole story event with cutscenes and dialogue and voiceover, and it was really interesting and in-depth. However, this Fungus Mechanicus event is much shorter and much sweeter as well. The rewards you can get here are not too great. You do get some primo gems. Other than that, there's no crowns or anything. This is not a main event. This is kind of a side event they added. Unfortunately, this is coming out of Windbloom, which was the main event for this patch. As you can see, there's not many days left of this event, but I have now tried all the stages. So if we look here, I've completed all the stages. There's not that many, to be fair, unfortunately, but what there was pretty fun to play. Now if you remember, we have Bongo Head and Kindle Joy from the previous event, and there were a lot more shroom buddies that you got to catch yourself and name, and Hania is here as well, and this guy who's the event operator for this one. I actually really enjoyed the previous event, the one that kickstarted all this mushroom fighting. Basically, yeah, Fabulous Fungus Frenzy was really good. I enjoyed it. The way you got to train them, the way you got to, catch them, then train them, then get to participate in battles. A little bit like Pokemon, not gonna lie, kind of a rip-off of Pokemon, but that's a good thing. This is a really interesting addition to this game. Now, we were kind of promised or foreshadowed another fighting event like the last one, but with upgraded orbs, control orbs. This hasn't happened. Instead we have this, which I think is an intermission, or maybe they're trying some new systems for this event. So in Fungus Mechanicus you control your buddies very differently. Their buddies are pretty much the same as far as I can tell. They have streamlined abilities. I don't think they have the same abilities as they had last time. Maybe some of them repeat, but there are some new things, I think. You don't get to train them this time, and you don't get to catch them. You already have all of them. But all your favorites are here, so these are all the shroom buddies you get access to. And again, you can have a team of 4 here. Now these are your enemies. You're not fighting other shroom buddies in this event. You're fighting these towers. And then these are some platforms which give you buffs, and some other towers. Basically, yeah, all the mechanici. Now, of course, the favorite one, Bongo Head, is here, and then Jewel Blaze, and you can see some familiar names like Twirly Whirly, which was, even says here, Layla's shroom buddy, and then you've got, where is it, Blitzara, that was obviously Amiko's shroom buddy. So if you go on to one of the buddies, you can see the kind of the basic attack, then their ability which you can use, and then they all have a passive effect as well. And they're all different from each other, and they can all react together. Now this gameplay event is based on reactions, as this is Genshin, and you can really do some crazy things here. Especially that the mechanici also have an elemental reaction attached to them. So you can imagine some basic tactics are, well, if you have a lot of electro, mechanici, you want to use a pyro, maybe a cryo, and that will do more damage. There are basics like that, but you can really play around with some of these abilities that they have. For example, what I like to do is I like the big cryo AoE that this one does, Formation Fulcrum. He does a big cryo circle around him, does damage, and then with Gusto Frosto, not Formation Fulcrum. Gusto Frosto does a big cryo AoE, and then Jewel Blaze does a big pyro AoE. And as you can imagine, there's a big melt reaction. Or if the Electro overloads, or you can do do superconduct. I'm pretty sure you can do superconduct. I'll get into one of the battles here, and I can just kind of talk through my thinking process and how to kind of build a team comp that works. So let's just do. They start very basic and they get more complicated as you go. I've not actually tried to time these. Well, some of these. We're gonna do the last one as it's the most complex and you get a lot going on. These challenge missions that you have to do, they're fairly simple, I think. You don't even... This isn't a problem, because you can just bring a healer. This isn't a problem, because that's what you do anyway to finish it. And then this is just... The time, I think, is quite generous. But I'll show you... I'll show you how it works. So, you get to set your party. So we've got 4 shroom buddies to choose from. Now, there are team comps that are really good for specific stages. So for example, you get to see what you're facing. Actually in this stage you're facing basically everything, so you can't really go for a specific team comp that will say if all these mechanici were hydro and cryo, you could just go pyro, right? Maybe electro. But because there's a variety, you can kind of do whatever. And what I like to do, my team, which kind of works for everything, I think. I like to go with the tank, first of all. You want to pick a tank. So you've got 3 tanks, Geo, Pyro and Cryo. They all have different abilities. I do like to go for this one, the Cryo tank. Then I like to pick the Anemo Healer, get some swirl reactions and healing. Bongo Head is good, and you can use Bongo Head. I just like this one a little bit more. I love to go for the pyro damage, and then you'd think maybe get a buffer, right, an electro buffer, but I actually really like the dendro damage dealer. Now I know it doesn't mix with Anemo or Cryo, but it will mix well with the enemies, and it can snipe some targets that are out of the way. If there's a Hydro Mechanici spawning to the side, you can just put your dendro guy on it. It's quite good. And because it's ranged, you've got more mobility, so you can pick up the energy that spawns, and you can kind of pick up the different things. So let's see the stage info here. So this shows you what you're facing, and you can read about these. I mean, they're fairly simple, simple things. I mean, they do. You know, these do an ability. This one explodes in an AOE. These shield. This sends out a ball that chases you and explodes. It's nothing too major. If you do bring a healer, like I do, there shouldn't be any problems. Let's give this a go here. So in this event, you've got way more control over how your guys actually function. You can click on it and just kind of drag him around like this, and you can aim. Right, let me just move out of the big circle here. So, and you can switch between them using 1, 2, 3 and 4, which is really nice. So I'll show you how some of this works. You can put your tank on the big tower, press your ability, and that will do the AoE cryo. I'll keep healing my guys. You can send him for energy. You've got way more control in this event than you did have in the previous events. I bring the Pyro guy because now he will melt. See that damage there? It was insane. So that's why I bring him. The Dendro guy, he just does like 3 shots of Dendro. I just bring the healer just for extra healing. It's nice to have in case things go wrong. And yeah, you can individually set these. It's really nice the way they did this, the control of the shroom buddies. It's much better than last time, where you didn't really have much control. I sent the Dendro guy for energy, even though I'm actually full on energy. I'm gonna start using it, so... Again, Cryo, and then Pyro, and that will just completely melt it off. Was that 45,000 damage? It might have been. Use my Dendro, do some shots. Let's see. I'll do another cryo and pyro reaction up here. That got rid of that. Do a heal in between. Send my dendro guy towards the middle here. I think if you stand nearby to these, it generates more energy for you. And as you can see, I'm so capped on energy. You can just spam your abilities as much as you want, really. Look at that. So again, I'm not really rushing this. I'm kind of taking my time, just explaining things. And I think I'm still on time. It really is not a problem. You can stand in these. Okay, let's just move out of those. And there we go. And that's time as well. Somehow I beat my previous record. And you know, there's no rush really with this. You can play around. I think they do give you more time. They are pretty generous on time because it can get a bit overwhelming for some people, and I think it can get a bit complicated when you're trying to kind of micromanage each buddy, right? Trying to put them somewhere and then attack and then use an ability, then you're trying to switch over and then have them. It's not perfect still, the control of them, but it's much better than the last event, I think. In terms of rewards, yeah, not too great, but it is what it is. It's just a side event, right? And I think this event is quite enjoyable. I think it's quite good. The combat itself is almost as good as last time. You have more control, which is even better. The reactions are pretty much the same. The shroom buddies are the same. The enemies are different. Obviously, last time it was a big event. It was more exciting. There was this, you know, Layla came out. Yeah, Miko showed up. It was fun. It was really fun. This time it's a smaller scale event, but it's still really fun. I do recommend you try it. And I wish they had another stage here, which was just for fun, and you could maybe pick what Mechanica you could face. And you could, you know, maybe just put all the Mechanica or put when, you know, different sets of them that spawn at different intervals, and then you could have your team maybe try to fight as long as you can. I think it'd be a good idea to add a stage where it's maybe infinite, or you can just try out different sets of teams against different sets of Mechanica that you build yourself. They do like to add kind of player-made things, maybe at a later stage. But for now, it is what it is. You know, you've got, what, 8 stages, and they're pretty short. You can do the event fairly quickly as well. But it's fun. I think it's fun. I really enjoyed it. I enjoy, obviously, the reaction gameplay is good. It is Genshin. The Pokemon aspect is still fun. You've got your favorite buddies from the last event. You can kind of, you know, reconnect with them like Paimon does, and it's quite good. There's a little bit of lore as well added. This isn't voiced this time, unfortunately. It's a bit of reading, but that's just how these things go. And yeah, I think, you know, as far as events go, this is one of the better ones for this patch. For second part of the patch anyway. We are soon going to be getting Baiju and Cave, so that will be a new patch in its own. That's going to be a lot of fun as well. But yeah, guys, thank you for listening to me rant on about this event. I just really enjoyed the Shroom Buddy gameplay, and I hope they bring it in the future again. With more content, basically. I really hope there's more content around this. Didn't care much for the rewards, but just bring more Shroom Buddies, bring more events about this, have more combat events like this as well, and maybe we'll have another tournament like before in the future. So thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.